Hi, today's lesson is scientific notation operations. 8EE4, use scientific notation to write large and small numbers is the standard. And then the question, how can I calculate using scientific notation, should be on the essential question line. Here we go. So today we are working on adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing in scientific form. So we're getting fancy. Let's see what our notes say. When adding or subtracting decimals in standard form, it is necessary to line up the place value. That's 5th grade standard, so we should have that mastered. In scientific notation, so we need to write scientific notation into that blank. Our place values, the place value is represented by the exponent, by the power. It let us know where that decimal should be if it was in standard form. So, before adding or subtracting, both numbers must be expressed in the same form. Both numbers written in the same base 10. Same power, same exponent. Base 10 exponent. So, let's look what that. What they are saying is normally we add 6.89 plus 9.24. We line up the decimals, we carry, we bring the decimals straight down, we're all good to go. But right now we have 10 to the 4th power and 10 to the 5th power. So we need to make sure that they are in the same base 10 before we can add 6.89 plus 9.24. So the first thing we need to do, let's make 9.24 92.4. So we're going to move it 1 to the right. So 6.89 is going to add to, this is 92.4 times 10 to the 4th power. So got to line up my decimals before I add. There we go. 9, 12, 8, 9, 99, and 29 hundredths. So I have 99 and 29 hundredths times 10 to the 4th power. But that's not proper scientific notation. So I got to go back so that there's that one digit to the left of the decimal. So when I slide to the left, I go back to 10 to the 5th power. Do I have this right? Okay. Example 2. So now, before we do this example, I can't work with numbers that big. It's going to take us forever, and this is a short video. So if you could change the 9th to a 6th power, that would make this go a lot faster. So first thing I do is take the standard form and change it to scientific notation, which is what we did the other day. So 5.9 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 to the 5th. Now my problem is I got 10 to the 6th on the left, 10 to the 5th on the right, and I can't add them until they're both in the same base. So let's change this one to 13.57 times 10 to the 5th power. Then I can add. So 13.57 plus 5.90, aligning my decimal places, adding the sum. 8, 9, 1. I got 19.47 times 10 to the 5th, but whoa, that's not proper. So I got to go back 1 that way. So it's 1.947 times 10 to the 6th back in scientific notation. Example 2 is done. What do I got in example 3? Why don't you try it on by yourself and then play and see if you got it right. So first convert, we got 10, 1, 2, 950 times 10 to the 9th. So 950 plus 6.3 is 956.3 times 10 to the 9th. Change colors. Move it back to. How'd you do? All right. Well, adding seems like we got it down. All right, we are on to multiplying and dividing. And my slides are going crazy. So we've got to multiply decimals and then figure out what's going on with the 10 to the third and the 10 to the fourth. So the commutative and the associative properties allows us to change the order of our numbers in a multiplication sentence. So it looks like I have to first, step 1, multiply 7.2 times 1.6. Let's see, 12, 42, 43, and then I'm running out of room. 1, 2 after the decimal point in the problem is 1, 2 after the decimal point in the answer. So we got 11.52 when I multiply my decimals. That's step 1. Step 2, I now have to deal with a power 10 to the third plus 10 to the fourth, because in our last couple lessons we're talking about when they're in the same bases I could just add my exponents. So this is a little easier than we just got done doing with addition and subtraction. So 11.52 times 10 to the 7th, but I'm not done yet because this is not in scientific notation, so I got to take it 1 to the left and then write my final answer, which would be 1.52 times 10 to the 8th power. All right, let's see, more decimal multiplication for us. Sounds like a great time. Ooh, we got our first negative exponent. 5.6 times 1.2, we're going to do first step, multiply 10, 11, 0. Hey, at least the multiplication is easier, right? 2, 7, 6. 1, 2 after the decimal point in the problem, 1, 2 after the decimal point in the answer is 6.72. Now I got 10 to the negative 8th plus 3, which is 6.72 times 10 to the negative 5th. No reason to move the decimal place. There's already one digit to the left. It is a negative exponent. I could hit the deck and rewrite it in the denominator, but I'm just going to leave it simplified as is. All right, what do we got? Example 3. Pause it, do it on your own, see what you get. And I will try to quickly do it as well. What do we got? Hey, this one wasn't that bad. Multiplied there, got 8.27, added my exponents, 2 plus 6. 8.27 times 10 to the 8th, that one worked out very nicely. On to division with scientific notation. 8.37 times 10 to the 8th divided by 2.7 times 10 to the 3rd. So we need to remember that our division with decimals, we cannot divide with decimals in the problem. And then with our exponents, we're going to subtract with division instead of add like we did with multiplication. So I have to tackle first 2.7 into 8.37. Got to move those decimals out of the way. So says our 5th grade teachers. So it gets 27 into 83.7. 27 times 3 is 81. Look at that. Don't forget to bring that decimal point up in the answer. Works out so nicely. That was nice of them. So I've got 3.1 times 10 to the 8th minus 3. So it's 3.1 times 10 to the 5th. I don't even have to simplify that further. We're good to go. Example 2. 8.43 divided by 5.62. Moving both of them over 2 in order to divide. So it's 562 into 843. What? I hope this works out well. 14, 7, 281. Gonna need a decimal and a 0. Bring down the 0. Haha, it does work out well. Cool. All right, so 1.5 times 10 to the negative 7 minus 4. Ooh, that's tricky negatives. 1.5 times 10 to the negative 11th. I am leaving it negative. There you go. Don't forget, subtracting 4 is the same thing as adding a negative 4. That's how I got negative 11. All right. Move this over 1, move this over 1. We got 15 into 94.5 for our division. 15 goes into 9 6 times. 4 left over, decimal place in the answer. This is easy division for you guys. I better see your work. Oh, 6.3 times 10 to the 10th minus 6th power is 6.3 times 10 to the 4th power. There we go. We have finished all this computation work. Exhausting. I know. See you tomorrow.